Have you ever hated a restaurant in Disney World? Like, really hated it? It can happen, even in the happiest place on earth. So, what are the absolute worst Disney World restaurants? Hey everybody, it's Chris for AllEars TV and AllEars.net. Today we're talking about the 4 worst Disney World restaurants of all time, according to you. Our expert Disney fans responded to our Instagram and Facebook polls where they nominated the top picks for the worst restaurant of all time in Disney World. Now, to answer the big question, did your favorite restaurant make the worst list? Your pick for the 4th worst Disney World restaurant of all time with a rating of 7.06, Coral Reef Restaurant. Coral Reef Restaurant opened in 1986 with the Living Seas Pavilion of Epcot, or what is now known as the World Nature Neighborhood. It's actually in the same building as the Seas with Nemo and Friends. Coral Reef is open for lunch and dinner, and it's known for prepare to be shocked seafood. One of the walls of the restaurant is made up of that world-famous 6 million gallon aquarium featuring more than 2,000 sea creatures with over 60 different species, including sharks, sea turtles, stingrays, and more. If you're lucky, you might even spot a scuba diver going for a swim, or even Scuba Mickey himself.
Courtney S. said, Coral Reef had a neat atmosphere, but it's way overpriced for the mediocre food that you get. And Heidi M. said, every few years we'd give it another chance after convincing ourselves that a Disney exec had gone through to fix it, but no.
The atmosphere at Coral Reef is pretty spectacular. It's got fish. Oh my gosh, my lights. Is it because I said fish? Fish. Coral Reef's atmosphere is pretty great because they've got fish and in the walls. And by that I mean there's fish tanks in the walls because it's located in the Seas aquarium, and so you get to look at fish while you eat the fish, which is a little macabre. I personally have actually never dined at Coral Reef because I heard some rough things about the food. It's apparently not the best, but I have been in there and the atmosphere is amazing. It's, I think, some of the most interesting atmosphere that you can find in Epcot, and that's really saying something. It's just even all those fish in the walls can't look me in the eyes and convince me to eat their friends. Maybe that's the point?
Coral Reef has been referred to by a few of our reviewers as the Red Lobster of Disney World. Or like TJM said, it's like Red Lobster at 5 times the price. The menu focuses on ocean fresh specialties with appetizers such as lobster bisque, entrees including shrimp and grits, salmon, and seared mahi-mahi, and desserts like the chocolate wave and mixed berry mousse. It's actually kind of a shame the food is so uninspired because the atmosphere really is fun. Like reader Jamie R. said, the food was not great. The aquarium is cool, but that's about it. Also, depending on your seating, your aquarium view might not be ideal. So then you're stuck with a bad view and a sad meal.
Listen, I love the atmosphere of the Coral Reef. I genuinely geeked out last time I ate there looking at all the different sharks, the marine life, and they fed the fish at one point. It was really, really cool. But unfortunately, the food just doesn't live up to such a great atmosphere. It's really mediocre food, but in an incredible viewing location, which is really such a bummer.
This place is classic Epcot Center magic. It breaks my heart to say it, but if the food were better, I would eat here more.
The pros. It's really fun to sit and watch the beautiful aquarium while you dine, and you might even catch Scuba Mickey. This is one of those dining experiences you may not find anywhere else. It's not, let's just say, the most popular Epcot restaurant, so it can be really easy to get a last-minute table if you're looking for table service. The cons? For Red Lobster vibes, you're paying a huge premium. If you end up seated far from the aquarium wall, you don't get to enjoy the best thing about the restaurant. Sadly, neither our viewers nor our cast has been impressed by the food, so you may not get the Epcot-level cuisine you're used to. Your pick for the 3rd worst Disney World restaurant of all time with a rating of 7.01, Tony's Town Square Restaurant. Tony's Town Square Restaurant is located in Magic Kingdom right on Main Street, USA, and it's based on the restaurant where Lady and the Tramp have their first kiss over spaghetti. Tony's serves Italian cuisine for lunch and dinner, and guests are treated to beautiful views of Main Street and lots of Lady and the Tramp decor. Tony's has a turn-of-the-century trattoria design, and it was actually converted to its current look from a previous restaurant in 1989.
Kelly B said, there may be one or two restaurants that are actually worse, but I have to go with Tony's. There's such potential and they have had years to fix it.
It's got really cute theming because it's Lady and the Tramp. You can see the little palm frames outside the building and it's so cute. The issue here as well is the food. Like, it's very basic Italian food, and for what you're paying and for such a prime location, it's kind of if you want good Italian, you could try Il Mulino, which is over at the Swan. I'm gonna Google it.
If Coral Reef is the Red Lobster of Disney World, Tony's Town Square is the Olive Garden. The Italian-style menu includes appetizers like fried mozzarella and caprese, with entrees such as chicken parmesan, ravioli, spaghetti, fettuccine alfredo, and more. And desserts...
Swan! Self 5. I did it.
Many reviewers stated that the food at Tony's has little flavor, and that they could cook similar dishes at home. Sandy E. said, ate there once and the food tasted exactly like canned pasta from Chef Boyardee. Ouch!
Reader Fishin' Goofy said, this is really good Italian if you get out of your comfort zone and order something you do not recognize. Don't come here and order chicken Alfredo and expect something more than Olive Garden. But I had a gnocchi dish with vegetables that was absolutely amazing.
Tony's Town Square, what are you doing? Tony's Town Square is such a bummer, again, because the atmosphere is very, very cool. I love that it's dedicated to the Lady and the Tramp. I love that it's right there on Main Street, USA in Town Square, but the food is just meh. It is mediocre Italian food that you could get at a million chain restaurants. It's just not worth the price, and that is, again, a bummer.
The pros. Tony's has an excellent in-park location right on Main Street in Magic Kingdom, which makes it easy to get to on a day in the park. People who love Lady and the Tramp will love the decor at Tony's. You can probably find a last-minute reservation at Tony's at pretty much any time you want. The cons? Where's the flavor? A number of reviewers said that Tony's just doesn't have the flavor compared to other Disney World restaurants. Lots of reviewers said that they felt they could make the same Italian food at home for much less. You're still paying Disney World restaurant prices at Tony's, which means that the food isn't great. It's definitely not worth the price. Your pick for the second worst Disney World restaurant of all time, with a rating of 6.92, is Nine Dragons. Nine Dragons Restaurant is situated in the China Pavilion of Epcot, where you can find Chinese cuisine with several regional specialties. They serve lunch and dinner, and if you request a table by the windows, you'll be treated to an amazing view of the World Showcase Lagoon Promenade. The restaurant features design elements like wood carvings, traditional Chinese lanterns, and glass artwork.
Anonymous reader said, nothing authentic, reminds me a lot of a local Chinese takeout place. I can say that the food is mediocre and not terrible, but the desserts are not appealing. It does have some nice views though.
You can get a great view at Nine Dragons, but that's about as far as my personal recommendation for it goes.
And the comparisons continue. A number of reviewers noted that Nine Dragons is basically the, ready, P.F. Chang's of Disney World. Appetizers include vegetable spring rolls and chicken pot stickers, with entrees like crispy duck fried rice, Canton pepper beef, Kowloon spare ribs, and vegetable and tofu stir fry, with desserts like house-made butterfly pea flour ice cream and strawberry red bean ice cream. If you've had either of those ice creams, please tell us about them in the comments. Reader Grammy3 said, we've had better Chinese food from takeout restaurants.
I actually don't hate Nine Dragons. I would pick Nine Dragons over the two that we've already had on this list. The food I've had there is actually pretty good whenever I go. I like to get that spicy mala beef, which is like numbingly spicy. It's not. But it's actually pretty good and well seasoned. The restaurant inside is very, very pretty, and it's easy to get a reservation there. Even on busy days, you can usually score a reservation at Nine Dragons. It's also, yes, it's expensive because it's Disney, but it's less expensive than a lot of other restaurants in World Showcase.
As somebody who lives in Orlando, Florida, I don't have a lot of access to great Americanized Chinese food. I haven't found, listen, if you guys have any like good Chinese restaurant recommendations for Orlando, you can drop them in the comments, because since I moved here, I have not found one that I'm like, yes, this is it. This is my Chinese restaurant now. If you got recommendations, you let me know. Nine Dragons. I think that Nine Dragons gets a little undue hate because I do think the food is good, but it's certainly overpriced for what it is. You can definitely find the same thing elsewhere, not in Disney World, for a lot cheaper. And there's a lot more unique food in Disney World that like might be more worth grabbing. So, you know.
The pros. If you get a table by the windows, you've got one of the best views in Epcot's World Showcase. Again, if you're looking for a last-minute table in Epcot, you will probably find one here. Nine Dragons has a great location for people walking through World Showcase pavilions. The cons? You might be able to find similar Chinese food from a takeout place in your hometown. Like others on this list, it ain't cheap, and you might not find the gourmet Chinese food you're looking for. The desserts are a bit adventurous, and several reviewers said that they didn't particularly enjoy them. Okay, before we hit you with number one, please take a second, click on that thumbs up, and click on that subscribe button. When you subscribe, be sure to ding that little notification bell so you get an instant notification anytime we post a new video. And if you really want some fun stuff, be sure to follow us on social media at AllEars.net. All right, we're down to the worst restaurant in Walt Disney World according to both AllEars reviewers and the cast and staff. Your pick for the worst Disney World restaurant of all time with a rating of 5.46. I'm just letting you wait a little longer. Planet Hollywood. Located in the town center of Disney Springs, you'll find typical American cuisine for lunch and dinner here. Now, Planet Hollywood's already a chain restaurant, so let's not make a comparison on this one. And this location features the usual Hollywood memorabilia with a turn-of-the-century design, along with a 4,500 square foot video wall. The menu was recently revamped by celebrity chef Guy Fieri, and you might also find a DJ at night.
Reviewer LJ Toombs said, "Only went here because it was the only place we could get into. The food was okay, but nothing special. You can easily get the same food at places like Applebee's."
There is amazing food in Disney Springs. Like, absolutely stellar, phenomenal, some of the best food I've ever eaten for equal to, slightly more, slightly less the cost of what you'll pay at Planet Hollywood. If you want a table service meal, just walk a couple steps, go to Wine Bar George. Walk just a few little steps, go to Morimoto Asia, Homecoming by Chef Smith, Frontera Cucina. There's so much good food in Disney Springs. Anyway, don't go to Planet Hollywood.
If you're desperate for Guy Fieri to take you to Flavor Town, go ahead and go on downstairs from Planet Hollywood to Chicken Guy, the chicken restaurant of Guy Fieri's that everybody actually likes. So don't waste your time, go straight to Chicken Guy.
There's so many sauces, the chicken's amazing, go there.
With Guy's menu, you can choose from burgers, shareable starters, burgers, salads, burgers, oh, and some sandwiches. I said burgers, right? As well as some exclusive signature cocktails. And even with the extensive American menu, many of our reviewers mentioned that the only reason they ate here was because there were tables available.
Yeah, Planet Hollywood is a good choice for this top spot, and I'm so sorry because I love looking at the door from Titanic and the book from Hocus Pocus, which are both things that you could see inside Planet Hollywood. But it is just a loud chain restaurant. If you want to go to a bachelorette party where there's screaming Journey at the top of their lungs, this is the environment for you. All the cocktails are incredibly sugary sweet. I've not ever had a good signature cocktail there. The food just tastes like chain restaurant food. I've had good service, it's been quick, the burger was fine, but the problem is with restaurants like this is that you can get better versions of anything you're gonna order there in Disney Springs for less money. I actually really like the chicken tenders there that are breaded with Captain Crunch, but you know where I can get better chicken tenders? Chicken Guy, literally steps away.
There's so many sauces, the chicken's amazing, go there.
I had a fine burger there on the Guy Fieri burger menu, but you know where I can get a burger steps away for less money? Deluxe Burger. The main problem with places like Planet Hollywood is that it's very, very expensive, it's very, very average, and you can get better versions around Disney Springs. But you can see props from Jaws.
The pros. This is a primo Disney Springs location, so it's easy to get to during a visit. Celebrity chef Guy Fieri revamped the menu. It can't be all that bad, right? It's a big place, and it's not difficult to get a table, even just walking up. The cons? You can visit this place in many other places, so you don't have to go to Disney Springs. Between all the TVs, the music, and the people, this restaurant is loud. Honestly, super, super loud. Even with the celebrity chef menu, the food is just meh. And that's how our readers ranked the worst Disney World restaurants of all time. Keep in mind, these ratings change daily. If you have an opinion, by all means, express yourself. Head over to AllEars.net and All Ears socials on Facebook and Instagram to leave your reviews. This is Chris for All Ears. I'll see you next time.